everybody, this is Clarine from In Reenie's Room, and today I am going to show you how to make a window treat box. I actually made these boxes a couple years ago. Wanted to make them again, didn't remember how, so I thought, well, I'll just have to make a video. So I tore an old one apart, and this is the result. You put your treats inside, and then they open up, and then you close them up. Pretty simple. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to do that, and then you can make some of your own. All right, I started with a 12 by 12 sheet from this group of papers. It's from DCWV. I'm not sure which order those guys use, but they have wonderful things. And these really caught my eye. Lots of glitz and glamour. So I started with the 12 by 12, and what we're going to do is cut that down to one piece that is 9 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then just set your papers aside. You can use them for another project, I'm sure. And then we'll put this on the scoreboard. And on that 9 1/4 side, we are going to score at 3/4, 1 1/2, 7 3/4, and 8 1/2. Then just turn it to the left, and that'll put you on the 6 1/4 inch side. And you're going to score at 3/4, 1 1/2, 3 1/4, 4, and 5 3/4. Okay. So then I hope you can see all those little lines in there, and we're going to fold all of them and burnish. It doesn't really matter which way you go first, because they're going to be burnished going in a couple directions anyway. So we'll burnish it that way, and then we'll catch the other direction. Side. And right there. All right. Now, before we do any cutting, I'm going to show you how to make that little window. So we're going to be using an X-Acto knife. And I made a little template that is 3/4 by 1 1/4. And I'm just going to mount that on the side that is the lid. And I'll show you my template in a minute, and you can probably take a nice shot of that. It'll show you where to cut out and which is the lid, which is the side. In this case, it's over here. So I'm going to just use a little piece of tape and just center that in the middle of the lid. And you can see this better when you're, at your own little workstation. And then I'll just put that down, and I'm going to cut out the window. I'll press there, and over here. Hope I'm staying in the center for you. Long side, and then over here. And then that just comes off. And then just set that aside, because you'll make more than one box. I think I'm on like number 7 now. All right, so this is the inside, and that's where you're going to be gluing your little acetate window. And the acetate window is just a little bit bigger. It's a 1/4 inch bigger than the hole that you just cut. So I'm going to run a little strip of glue, and it's very thin, in about 1/16 of an inch. You don't want to go in real far, but when you put that acetate on the top, you don't want it to smoosh all over the front part. So just a very thin line, like that. I like to use the art glitter glue because you can get some nice thin lines with them. And then I'm just going to lay this on top. And once you drop it, you don't want to drag it around. And that just picks up the glue. And then just touch it, and you can see how it just glues right on down. It dries clear, so don't worry about my fingerprints. All right. I'm going to set that to the side for just a second and let it set up. And while I'm doing that, I want to show you this template. On this template, this is the lid side, which we just put that little acetate window into. And where you see these little squiggly lines, that's where you're going to be cutting on those score lines. And if you have a picture of this, it really makes a nice guide for when you do it. All right. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and have the lid at the top, just like my template. And I'm going to cut out these 3 little corner squares. Like that. All the way across there. And then here. So those 3 are gone. And then don't turn anything and come over to the other side and do the same thing. Take those 3 corner pieces and cut them off. Now this is going to be the bottom, and you want it to go into the side, so you're going to just put a little notch here and another little notch on that side. And then if you'll notice, there's another fold cut line here, which I just made. And then these make little tabs, just to show you where you're at and what you're doing. I'm going to put another clip over here so that you've got the 2 tabs. And then we're going to come up here and you cut across, and you're making another tab on this side, and then you cut that little piece off, and then you've got a little tab. These tabs are important when you're putting it together, and that'll make sense to you in just a little bit. And then up here, this is your lid. We've turned it completely around, so this is your lid. And you clip these 2 kind of diagonal corners, making a little wedge, because that's going to fold down. And cut that one off too. And we'll come over here and do the same side. I'll cut those 2 off. Do a little wedge. It's not a lot, but you'll see where it fits into the folding when we get there. And then we're going to cut up here. And this piece comes off as well. And now we're making another little tab to match this one over here. So this comes all the way up. And you clip it right here. Then you have your 4th tab. Okay? So this, you could just lay right on there and you can see what you clipped out and what you didn't. So I'll put that to the side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put some glue on these little tabs. I'm going to put them on first one side. And there's a little seam there, I forgot to fold that over. So then you bring your top up using this fold that I forgot to fold. So let me fold it now. There we go. Okay, so these are going to come up. This is forming your box. These two little tabs get glued onto the little edge right here. So I just bring that up and I fold the top part of that over, and I think I'll put a little glue on there too, just to hold it down. And as you fold it over, you want to make sure that you've got your corners here lined up. And then you just fold that over, and that little dab of glue holds it in place, and then you can use your bone tool and flatten that out real good. And this is going to glue down in just a minute, but first we'll do this other side. Bring those two tabs in, and we're going to fold it the same way. So I put the glue on the tabs, and since I'm going to bend this over, I'm going to put a little bit of glue here to help hold it down. And as I hold, I'm pinching these two together, bringing this up and over. And see how I'm lining up these edges at the same time? Put that in there. There we go. And then I'll use my bone folder to put that down real strong. And again, the glue dries clear, so don't worry if a little bit gushes out the edges. All right. So you're almost there. Now I'm going to put a little glue, got a little glue there, along this strip. This is a second set of notches that we had made, so that they clear these corners. That's what those are for. So then I just fold it over, press it down, then use the bone tool to give it that extra little sticky part. I would encourage you to use good sturdy cardstock too, because that makes a nice difference. All right, so I'm folding that down, making sure that all the folds are working. Let's fold him over again. All right. Now these are the sides that are going to go inside. So I'm going to put another little notch right up in each corner, just so that they go in nicely. Just on the little front side, you don't need to do the back. Okay, and you just fold them down. Oops, that little glue popped up there. Making sure that you can see that the burnishing of those score lines is very important. All right, so bring that in, put that down, and there's your box. Okay. Now, the rest of the things I kind of made up ahead of time. I had used just 3 little tiers of flowers, and I put a little bell on there just because it reminded me of Christmas time. And that's what I glued on the top. And then I thought it would be fun to have these already gifted and ready to go. So you fill them up with candy, slide it in a bag, I would tie it off with some shiny ribbon. Bring that down a little bit here. And then this has you kind of set for the holidays. If you're going somewhere and you want to bring a little gift, or even if you were getting ready for maybe a craft fair or something, these would be fun. So there's a little bow, and then I made these tags ahead of time, just with a set of tags, and then there's a bigger one that goes in the back and one in the front. And then I glued a little heart, punched out a little heart, glued that right in there. Voila, that's what it looks like. And then you can just put this in there. Yeah. Sometimes easier said than done. Pokey tool there. Oh, come on. There we go. And you can tie a bow and kind of ruffle up your ribbon. And voila! There you have it. Little tag. You can put a to, from, or thinking of you, or thanks for inviting me, or whatever it is you want to do. Anyway, that's our little project. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon.